underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Beyond.
Say it.
Say it!
Beyond?
There you go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Beyond, episode 180. I'm your host, Greg Miller, alongside the rough customer, Ryan Clements.
Ooh, yeah, I like
he
it.
only does everything, Colin Moriarty.
Beyond.
And one of the voices of the new Xbox podcast here on IGN. Podcast Unlocked, Arthur Gies.
Hi.
Is this your Beyond debut, Arthur?
I think it might be.
All right, I'll let
I
Ron
think I've only
applause.
been on SCOP with you.
Scop.
Prepare to have a radically different podcasting experience.
Well, no, Arthur, I don't know if you know this, everybody.
Oh, wait, so
Arthur
they're not going to
isn't-
sing like a G6 at the end of the podcast?
Actually, that's where we started that, the whole singing
Okay.
at the end of the show.
Yeah, so stuff it. You can't take that from us. Arthur is a man
You
in
can have
demand.
it.
Arthur, you work hard at IGN. Are you aware of this? Has somebody ever told you this?
I haven't slept enough lately to know whether or not I work
Every time I
hard at
walk by
IGN.
your desk, you're playing something, and I'm like, I never play games here. And Arthur is always reviewing something or doing something. So good on you.
Oh, thanks, sir.
No problem. You're here to talk about Crysis 2.
I am.
Because that came out this week.
It did.
We're jumping right to topic of the week. Crysis 2. So Crysis 2 out, and it's amazing.
It is pretty fucking good.
The
Can I
best
say
looking.
fuck?
Yeah, you can
Yes,
say whatever you
can.
want. Fuck,
all
bitch,
of our
mittens.
podcasts are explicit.
It's muffin good.
Yeah, there you go. Tell me all about it. It's in the future. It looks like. I don't know if I like that.
It is in a it's in a future that is, as I say in the review, more like the day after tomorrow, and I don't mean the movie The Day After Tomorrow.
No.
Just like imagine if you take the world 10 years ago and then take the world now, and it's that sort of change.
Gotcha.
So it's still recognizable, but there are clearly things that have shifted. So it's amidst chaos and catastrophe in New York City between a weird virus and an alien invasion and martial law.
Wow.
Sounds cool.
Wait, there's a weird virus also happening during this alien invasion?
Yes.
Can't
Oh, that
catch a
doesn't
break.
sound good.
Can't catch a break.
That's
Yeah.
a 1-2 punch right
So
there.
as you're going around New York, you're seeing like all these biohazard things in areas that are totally closed off, and just stacks of body bags and burned out ambulances and things like that.
God, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Why am I
right.
not playing this game right now? You totally didn't talk about the
'Cause we
sweet
got-
virus part yesterday.
I didn't want to spoil things in my review.
Yeah.
And we also got fuck all for copies of that game too. So that's why you're not playing it yet.
I'm gonna steal one tonight. I'm gonna do it.
You could try
I'm
if I can
going
find
to.
it.
All right, fine.
You have to fight harder for it.
Story's good.
The story is there for you to find. Honestly.
Okay.
It's hard to do a good, interesting story in a shooter. I mean, I think that's been demonstrated again and again. A lot of the stories that people think are good in shooters are, oh, well, it's an interesting fiction, or, oh, well, this is an interesting setting, or, man, there's, like, so much backstory to dig in through here, or, this resonates with me because I played all these other games. Like, so Crysis 2's story is there for you to find. There's a narrative thread that goes through as to why you're there, what's happened to you, what you need to do. But there's also like emails to collect and flashbacks to look at to sort of fill in the gaps and to sort of explore the world and find the story that it has to tell you.
So I have to do the work to get the story.
You do have to do work to get the story.
What's the hook here? What makes it a 9? What's so great about it?
The nanosuit. So
Okay.
you play as a recon marine named Alcatraz. It never explains why your name is Alcatraz.
You were born there.
Angry parents, I guess. You are going to New York to rescue a scientist, and your submarine is attacked by something, and then your entire squad is killed. You land on the shore of New York, and a strange thing happens, and you find yourself in possession of something called the nanosuit, which is this combat armor that's part organic that has an artificial intelligence, and basically you are trying to figure out what's happened to you to try to escape, to help somebody, and so on from there. The nanosuit has different modes. There's strength, stealth, and cloak.
Okay. You got me. I'm liking this game so far, by the way.
So basically, you have a finite amount of energy and these powers, and every power takes energy to use. Like if you have armor on, getting hit decreases your energy. If you're in stealth, moving, or just even standing still, having stealth active drains energy. And the more you move, the faster you move, the more your energy drains. In strength mode, doing say a 15-foot jump or kicking a car across the street takes energy.
Of course. Just like real life.
Right, exactly. So you need to eat your Cliff Bar and then kick your car across the street.
I think that's what Charles does before he rides his bike.
Exactly. So
Turns on
I
strength
mean,
mode.
it becomes this sort of exercise in looking at a situation, thinking, well, maybe I'll try to cloak and sneak around behind these guys and throw C4 on this car and kick it over to them, and as soon as I have their attention, detonate it.
Gotcha.
or I'm going to like basically have such fine control over my cloak that I will be uncloaked for a split second, fire, then recloak. Because if you fire when you're actually cloaked, you'll drain all your energy.
Interesting.
So it's about fine control over your powers in various combat situations, and there's a ton of options for pretty much every combat scenario, whether they're the ones that your suit informs you about, because there's this artificial intelligence that's sort of assessing the combat situation in front of you at all times, or other ways. Like I played through the game about 3.5 times now, and every time I played, I found new ways to approach pretty much every combat situation. Sometimes multiple times in the same game, because I will get killed and have to start over because the checkpoints are not very good. But
not like Ghostbusters Sanctum of Slime.
Yeah, Ghostbusters Sanctum of Slime has some great checkpoints. We'll get to that. We'll give Ghostbusters its just rewards.
So
eventually.
aside from the fact that the gameplay is actually very complicated and complex and rewarding if you put time into it and sort of understand it, I mean, the game is pretty amazing looking and sounding. So
Now,
Let me ask you a question here real quick, Greg.
Yes, sir.
Don't
Go.
get ahead of yourself here. I want to maybe just get it.
Colin's been working on an attitude all week long, I'll have you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
He gave me some Italian sausage over the weekend. I think he can do whatever he wants.
Just leave that as ambiguous as possible.
that didn't sound particularly ambiguous.
Gave you a little Italian sausage.
So, Arthur, what I'm most
Fed him my dick.
what I'm most curious about, Arthur, is obviously the first Crysis came out in 2007 on PC or whatever.
Yes.
So how does this game connect to the first game, and can people enjoy it and get a full experience without having experienced the first Crysis?
Yes, you can, because the first Crysis is the first Crises.
Is there more than one first Crysis?
There is Crysis and Crysis Warhead, which is sort
Warhead.
of an expansion
Okay.
side story thing.
I know somehow fit into this, but it's not really
They do.
important.
They take place 3 years before this.
Okay.
There's only one returning character from the original 2 games. His name is Prophet. He was the commander of your character's unit in Crysis and Crysis Warhead. And his presence is explained and makes sense. And there are things you find out throughout the game that link the two back together and explain exactly what happened. If you played the first game, there are things that will make more sense, or little like offhanded mentions of things that will sort of click the way that playing sequels tends to do.
Okay.
But it's not, the story isn't so focused on what happened on Lingshan Island, which was the setting of the first one, that you'll really need to know anything more than weird shit went down on Lingshan Island, which it tells you.
Player, weird shit went down.
And
on this
also,
island.
it's unlike the last game, which just sort of blows through the tutorial section of using the suit and exactly what the suit does. This spends about 45 minutes to an hour acquainting you with the suit powers and the situations you can use them in, and then spends about another hour sort of explaining different combat situations to you without saying as much. So there's a good 1.5 to 2 hours of sort of easing you into the meat and potatoes of what Crysis gameplay is about.
The Italian sausage of the
Yes.
yeah,
experience as
and
well.
Precisely.
how I
Then
actually
it fucks you with it.
I forgot to ask you this yesterday, but how long is the campaign? How long did it take you?
The first time I played through it, the campaign clock said 8.5 hours.
Okay, got it.
The Arthur clock,
Arthur clock, my favorite clock.
estimated more like 11.5.
A nice meaty campaign. That's
Because
what we need.
like
Yeah.
the time that you spend watching like briefing videos or dying and starting over or just a million other things, like that isn't counted in the clock.
Got it.
So it's
Cool.
like it's the opposite of like a BioWare RPG where you're like, Jesus Christ, I left it paused and it's counting that as time played.
I hate that. I really
it's-
demand that all pause screens cut off the clock.
Gotta
It got
bring
to
up
the
cross
point
media.
in Mass Effect 2 where I actually would save and pause and then reload that save to know exactly how long it took when I was
Nice.
reviewing
It's good to know there are other people there that are compulsive about their in-game clocks, because
Yeah.
I've restarted games, not like really deep, but like a few hours in. If I'm like, man, I've only been playing this game for 20 minutes, I paused it, and now it says 3 hours. I got to restart.
Oh, Colin, I
Wow.
love that. That's awesome. I would totally do the same thing.
So there's quite a meaty campaign, and there's also a sort of new game plus mechanic where you will earn the ability to upgrade your suit throughout the game into you have like 4 slots of abilities, and you have multiple abilities to buy for each slot, and you switch between them as you like. Some of them are really expensive, and any upgrades you have are available for any level you previously completed. So if you play through the game and you upgrade your suit most of the way, then you can actually go on a harder difficulty and still have all those upgrades available to you.
Nice.
You were saying everything I want to hear,
It's
buddy.
good for trophies.
This game sounds cool. I
Yeah,
want
it
this
does.
game.
It's funny
Is there
'cause-
multiplayer? Do I have to worry about the multiplayer?
The multiplayer is somewhere between Call of Duty and Halo as far
Okay.
as pacing. I mean, you have the suit abilities the whole time, and you buy upgrades to your suit.
Uh-huh.
It's fun. There are just some problems right now with invisibility, nanovision, which is like a predator type vision, and snipers.
Okay.
But other than that, there is fun to be had. There's not a lot of people playing the PS3 multiplayer version right now.
Because of you.
It could be.
Get to
yeah.
the heart of the matter here. You sold the PS3 up the river with some BS claims.
With a very sad 9.
Oh my god.
And a apparently very disappointing 8.5 in graphics for the PS3.
That
version.
now talk about this a little bit. That was the difference, right?
There was a pretty noticeable difference between the visuals on the 360 version and the PS3 version. To say nothing of the PC version, obviously.
Yeah. Who cares about that?
The 360 version and the PC version, if you set them both to the same resolution, like 1280 by 720, they look extremely similar.
Okay.
If you set the 360 version and the PS3 version next to each other, there are some pretty big differences throughout the game.
Do they pull you out of the experience? I mean, you gave them both 9s, right? Correct.
Right. I don't. The only thing that really, the times you're pulled out of the experience on PS3 are the same times that you're pulled out of the experience on 360. It's just a little worse in a lot of places, or a lot worse in a few places. And if you have the choice between the two systems, then one is a superior option to the other.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that the other version sucks.
Of
It
course.
just means it's the less awesome game.
Less awesome. Awesome.
And not even really that, because they got the same score.
Yes.
As far as shooters on the PlayStation 3, I think it's the best shooter option on PlayStation 3 since Bad Company 2.
You're calling this the Killzone 3 killer?
I didn't actually think Killzone 3 was very fun.
I'm
Me
joking.
neither.
No, I don't. Nobody here in this room. Did you finish it?
No, I
We
played
all
about
burned out. Really.
I
3.5
finished it.
hours.
Oh, sorry.
It's difficult to compare because Killzone is trying very hard to be Call of Duty.
But in
But-
space.
But in space, I mean, the aesthetic is different, and obviously it looks better than Call of Duty. But it's very linear. It's very controlled. You have one path all the time, and I think that Crysis 2 manages something much more interesting with its gameplay, and I think it looks better. Like, it's not like Killzone relies on a very stylized version of reality where it's super high contrast, super post-processed. Crysis 2 is all about just shining light on everything and making everything really gorgeous all the time, and on very fine detail on stuff that's close to you. Like, just looking at things like your hands is just really impressive on Crysis 2, in a way that I just don't think that Killzone is.
Right.
And I think it controls better.
I'm excited, Greg.
Me too.
And since I control the library, that copy of the PS3
come
copy has to go through me first, so I don't know. If,
You couldn't even get it to me yesterday.
no, no,
You're
you
a
can,
fan
no,
of
you
your
can
job.
take, no, you can take it first.
All right.
I'm gonna play Dragon Age. this week.
Arthur.
Yes.
Thank you for talking about Crysis with us
Thank
and
you for
informing us
having
of
me.
it. Can you go to your desk now and find it and give it to me?
I can try.
right.
I can try.
Who else could possibly have it? Me and you are the only ones that take PS3 games.
Where the hell do the games in our library disappear to?
I don't know. We've been talking
I
about
have the
this
same
for-
answer for you, sir.
Interesting. All right, Arthur, get the fuck out of here, you Xbot. Nobody wants you.
Exactly.
Get off my porch! Woo! Thank you for joining us.
All
Did I
right,
stop
no,
it?
we're still good.
I
We're
didn't
still
stop
good.
it? All right,
No, you're
it's a
good.
new table. I thought it
Oh
would
yeah,
be
this
all
is a
right.
new table.
Table could hold
Thanks,
up.
Arthur.
Bye, Arthur. We love you.
Bye, Arthur.
Go
Take
do more
care.
work. All right.
Sleep.
That was interesting, huh? A little
It was
game
a-
discussion for a
Well,
change. on
it's
here.
like toe was a little earlier. I'm gonna move back to my normal chair now.
Okay. Maybe if you got here on time, you would have had your normal chair.
Sorry, dude.
but
it's been a
instead-
hectic.
Oh, here it comes.
Easy.
Here comes
You've been coming.
excuses.
You've been coming. So yesterday I go.
Oh,
so
the
yesterday I find.
excuses are coming out of college. Come on, everybody.
Yesterday I find. So
Get
yesterday.
a bucket, everybody. A lot of excuses pouring out of there.
I keep on having to adjust your levels
All right, I'm
so
all over the
much.
place today.
I wrote my Swarm review yesterday. And,
Yeah,
and,
here we go.
So first I Greg's like, can you read my Ghostbusters Sanctum of whatever the hell it's called?
Slime.
Slime.
You got through every word except the last one.
Sanctum of something.
It's a sanctum of I don't know.
And I was like, yeah, I'll read it, and I proofed it, and I did all that. And I was like, hey, Greg, can you proof my Swarm review? And he's like talking to some kids outside, some readers.
Time out. Here's how it goes. We are working in an office full of editors. Full of editors, Ryan Clements. There's a million people around here. Colin is so desperate for me to read the Swarm review, he exits the building to find me.
I like your.
And I thought, oh my God, we're on a bar. Something's coming up. We got to go do this. I run back in. The read's not even done yet. He's not
It
even
was.
done
I
yet
was
to be
reading it
given me.
over again. I was just telling you. I just wanted to. Say, I like your proofs and.
I understand.
But then you gave me like some friggin' toot about it. You could have just said no.
First off,
You could have just said no.
First off, anytime either of us gives each other toot, it's a joke. So calm down.
It's not a joke now. Don't forget to change it.
Also, I don't think Colin likes my proofs because I'm so hard on him. Even though I love his writing.
No, that's not true at all. I like Greg's input on the PSN proofs, like specifically PSN games.
That's.
I have no problem with you. I have no problem with your proofs at all.
Okay, as long as you're okay with them.
You always try to put emoticons in my reviews. I don't let you proof anything.
I always want to make sure that people I can also modify my proofing style to best fit what the people need.
No, I have no problem. I like a hard review. I mean, I like a hard proof. I mean,
yeah, you like it hard.
Arthur actually gives really good proofs too. Yes. I gave my proof to someone in our office or whatever for a review I wrote and got nothing back on it, and then I gave it to Arthur and he ripped it apart.
Yeah.
And that was 10 times more valuable.
Yeah. For sure.
So he's definitely another person that I seek out on the proofs.
Everybody has a different style.
Yeah.
So totally, when I feel I have something that's really good, I'm really good to give it to anybody. And then when I feel something's weak or needs work, I have specific people I want to go to.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it, and I'm trying to get better at doing the proofs myself, which is why I asked Greg if I could give him a proper proof on it.
But that's so hard to do. Anyway, we don't have to talk about writing mechanics too much because I don't think the kids care about that.
There was like 5 out there who was
You want to talk about nouns?
Since we're all over the place, I want to start with a question of the week.
Let's do it, man.
You can reach out to us at beyond at IGN.com. Sorry, we had a different tone when Arthur was talking. We just got to listen and hear about a game.
Now you have to talk.
Now I got to talk. So this one I liked quite a bit, so I'm starting off the show with it. It's from Kyle. Hey guys, on the last episode, Greg said he would buy trophies off the PSN store if he could. I thought this would be a fun game for Greg and Colin to play. I want you to chime in, Clements.
Okay.
But obviously you're not as obsessed about trophies.
I'm listening. I'm here.
If you could get trophies for doing these activities in real life, would you do them? All right, Colin?
Okay.
Lose 10 pounds for a gold.
No.
Yes, I would totally do that.
Lose 10 pounds for a gold?
Yeah.
I can turn on like a bunch of games and get a gold in 2 seconds.
Yeah? This is something cool to do. This is something fun.
A platinum, maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
I would do it. Gain 10 pounds for a gold.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even hard. I'd do that for a bronze.
I would do that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to die because of what
I'm going to gain 10 pounds anyway. I might as well get a trophy for it.
You wouldn't do that. All right, go vegetarian for 2 months for a gold.
No.
I totally would. I can't believe you wouldn't do that.
These are gold trophies. I have like 200 of these.
Go vegan for 2 months for a platinum.
No. I wouldn't go vegan for a second because it's stupid.
Oh my God, I would totally do that too. It's just
Dude, you would last about 5 minutes.
It's something goofy to do. It's something goofy to do. It's something goofy and fun to do.
Dude, vegan. Don't even get me started.
All right, this is an easy one, Colin, and I'll be depressed if you say no to this one.
Okay.
Watch all the Twilight films in a row for a gold.
Yeah, I would do that just out of interest, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't like vampires?
I am actually curious about watching Twilight at some point.
I've seen them all except the most recent one.
Okay, got it.
They're fine. They're not as bad as they're. I mean, they're not. Don't get me wrong. They're not Oscar-winning movies, but they're not terrible.
Okay.
Some of the effects are really bad when the werewolf guy comes around.
That werewolf guy.
Get punched in the balls for a gold.
Sure.
I say no. There'd be a lot of depends in this one. Who's doing it? Can I see them punch something first to see how hard? You know what I mean? Is this full on like? Or, is
it like an uppercut? Because,
yeah, exactly.
Because I could probably take the full on punch.
Straight punch.
Towards,
straight.
Yeah, but if you're coming from underneath, that changes that changes everything.
Okay. Changes everything.
Not talk for 24 hours for a gold.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
You know, can I just chime in real quick about this one?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, because a lot of people aren't very thoughtful with their words. Sometimes I think, period.
Good.
Like some people aren't very thoughtful with their words. People just talk in style.
Yeah, obviously.
And I wonder if you were born with like a 5 million word limit and you cannot say any more than 5 million words in your entire life. How like you would probably be silent a lot.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
But it'd be interesting.
Can I see it in my head, like the count?
Yeah, you probably So you have like a HUD that not only you can see and your number is in the corner.
When I start thinking of something I want to say, does it pop up on screen and then I can see kind of like it's like kind of like Twitter where I see it in
you
real
can see
time?
your word. Yeah, okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that, but that wouldn't be hell. I could live. Here's one that I've already done, so I should get the gold for this. Listen to Friday on loop for 3 hours for a gold.
Oh yeah, I would do that too.
Yeah, remember that day I was listening to it on YouTube?
Yeah, and
you
I was
mad at me?
I wasn't mad at all, but I was amazed because I heard it. I heard it, or no, rather, I saw you go like you were working, and all of a sudden you alt tabbed, and Friday came up, and you just scrubbed back to the beginning and alt tabbed back, and I was like, dude. Are you just listening to Friday over and over
It's a
again?
good song.
It is a good song.
Not play PlayStation 3 for a week for a gold.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you can play PSP.
Yeah.
Play anything. Run a marathon for a gold? No. I'm not going to run a marathon for a
I
gold.
could barely run to catch the Muni.
I
You want me
know,
to run a
right?
marathon?
All right, thanks. He says, hope you had fun answering these. We did, Kyle.
We did.
That was a great one. Thank
Good
you very
one.
much. I like the good questions. But now let's start the show proper with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news.
What is with this principal's office flag here? This should be behind like Obama's podium in Washington.
It should be. There's some things here that we can't talk about that why they're here. So there are some things in the podcast room. Podcast room is always being modified. The new room, we have a new table.
Oh,
we have a new,
I see.
This is the Colin Moriarty Roper Report, as always. The opinions expressed here and may not be those of Ryan Clements or myself.
Yes.
Number one, this fall, in commemoration of Resident Evil's 15th anniversary, both Resident Evil Code Veronica X and Resident Evil 4 are coming to the PSN. There's no talk on move or trophy support for either game yet, but you can certainly expect at least trophy support. Move capabilities, all of the Wii version of RE4 would be nice, though. Both games were earlier rumored to be titled Resident Evil Revival Selection via Japanese magazine Famitsu.
Yeah.
The way I understand it is they're on a disc over there, and here they're going to just be separate PSN.
on PSN.
Hopefully separate platforms.
And also update from PlayStation Blog. Since I wrote this, they will have trophies. So obviously, I mean that's obvious, but I know everyone gets a little nervous.
Yeah,
I know I do. Hey, speaking of trophies, by the way, just real quick, because I wanted to bring it up during the Crysis conversation. I did look at the Crysis list.
Yeah.
Now there's a very distressing trophy on there.
Ooh, okay.
It's a bronze for playing multiplayer, but you have to play 6 months after your first multiplayer match. And
That's
think,
not bad.
but I don't think you can manipulate your own game clock. It's probably based on the servers, and thus no one's going to get a platinum in that game no matter how hard they try for the next 6 months.
That's no big deal. Whatever. There, you hold on to it, and there it is. You pop it in, and you're good. I like that.
I hate stupid trophies like that.
But back to RE4 here.
Yes,
we had a conversation on the IMs about it. We were like, yo, bro, I'm psyched about this. And my response was, old game is old.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get excited for these games again.
Okay, Resident Evil 4 is a 10.
It's something, all right.
And I mean, just period. It's a 10. It's an awesome game. It's the best Resident Evil game.
Is that
easily? It makes Resident Evil 5 look like horse shit.
Would you still give it a 10 today?
Yes.
If you were reviewing that game.
Yeah.
You would give it a 10 in graphics?
It doesn't have to get a 10 in graphics to get a 10.
He's got you there. He's got you there.
Wait, actually, really? Because I was told otherwise.
Why? If the game plays and the same and the ambience is the same, okay. Like, in other words, Mega Man 3 is still a 10 for me. Mega Man 3 is an 8-bit NES game. You know. So I mean, I wouldn't base how I feel about a game solely or even really remotely on its graphics. That's really the last thing that's important to me. Graphics and sound aren't important to me compared to gameplay and stuff. Are you looking at other 10s we've given?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I love Resident Evil 4. I think a game is like
and you're totally
a tremendous
and that's
game.
totally great. I was just curious because it was just surprising to me.
I mean, I think it was a beautiful GameCube game.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, back in the day, it looked fantastic.
And I think it still looks good. I mean, because I played RE4 on Wii in like 2008, so it hasn't been that recently, but it's still great.
It was such a
looks
struggle
better than
for
any
me.
Wii game.
It was such a struggle for me to get through Resident Evil 4 on the Wii. I just got so bored. Resident Evil games are so boring.
You think so?
I'm sorry, they're terribly boring.
You don't like the like. You don't like
I found half a crest. Now I'll find the other half to get through. Oh no, this guy's coming at me. I'm
that's like
slowly
every game.
turn
though.
around.
That's-
Slowly turning around. I'm turned around now. And
The
I'm wiggling my wand to stab you.
The heavy controls are to add
Good
to
thing
the
I
fear.
found all these herbs. This oregano is really gonna set me right.
You know what's really good?
You burn in hell.
I mean herbs.
Yeah.
I was
I
thinking.
have all these guys named Herb here.
Well, in Europe,
Come on, if I'm gonna be joking, I can joke.
well,
about
in
how
Europe
things-
they call them herbs too. So we have European listeners. They can relate to what.
Thank you, European listeners. Clearly, I was trying to make you feel better.
But
By your
what I
ethnic
like about
language.
RE4 the most, and I was talking about this with someone, is that the game. You know, we talk about dark games and really like black games. You know, Resident Evil 4 is really brown, which I think, especially in the beginning, which is really interesting. Like it's really dark and overcast, and that's what I really loved about the game from the very beginning. It's awesome. That early boss fight on the boat, for instance, is really cool. So I'm really excited. People that didn't have a GameCube or didn't, I think they released it on PS2. I didn't get it on PS2. If you haven't played the game, if you haven't played the game, you should be really excited because Resident Evil 4 is great. And if you like Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 4 is really going to blow you away because Resident Evil 5 is trash.
Hey Ashley, why don't you hide in this dumpster?
That's
I'll be back. This is fun stuff.
You know what?
I'm running slowly, but I'm running. I'm crawling over this thing.
You know what Resident Evil 4 doesn't
good thing
have?
I found some ammo. 2 bullets. This is really gonna help me against the guy with the goddamn sack over his head.
Dude, how are you gonna? All right, so you like Dead Space, which is basically
Yeah.
the same game, but in a spaceship.
And it's so much faster and awesome.
But it has the same ammo scarcity and the same, finding random items to use elsewhere and stuff like that. You have to, you find those little nano, whatever they're called, and you use them to open
nodes?
doors. Yeah. And
Okay, the nodes are completely optional though.
Not
Opening-
all the time. You need them to open doors sometimes.
Yeah, they open optional doors. Where there's like an ammo dump or whatever.
I mean, you're basically just being selective on the things you like and the things you don't, because Dead Space is biggest inspiration, obviously, is Resident Evil. And
yeah, but it does everything better. It fixes everything that Resident Evil does wrong. Being really slow, shitty typewriter text on the screen, having no style, being awkward.
You don't like it to be.
Yeah, right.
That's so awesome.
It has a store instead of some dude who's always there in a purple outfit. What you buying? Like,
Well, that guy's
why
just
aren't you
chilling.
getting eaten? Why aren't you getting
he's
eaten
chilling,
right now?
and he has all these weapons. Is a monster gonna eat this dude if he has 7 grenades on him?
Interesting that I didn't see you run down into the sewer when I passed you. Yes, but sell me this grenade launcher and 1 grenade. Thank you.
I just think you're being very. I don't know. I think you're being very selective because I know you're a fan of survival horror.
I really want to go back to the joke about good thing I found these 2 bullets.
Oh, I've shot you in the head 3 times and you didn't go down. Well,
It's
this
the
is
same.
fun.
What's the same thing with the necromorphs? First of all, you find 2 or 3 bullets all over the place in Dead Space.
Yeah, but they add up. Yeah, I never.
Dude, there's ammo scarcity, especially in the second one.
I was gonna say the opposite. Dead Space 2, I never heard.
I never beat the game, but I was running out of ammo a lot.
You were shooting too much, bro.
Or maybe I wasn't shooting enough.
Think about that one, everybody.
Why don't you just, what Resident Evil 4 doesn't have is the woman that runs around with you to carry all your items, which is a problem, just like Resident Evil 5 had. Yeah.
All right. Number 2, F1 2011 has a release date. It's expected to drop on September 23rd.
Okay.
All right.
Let the beat drop.
I'm sure there's fans of that game.
There is definitely a hardcore F1 community somewhere. I'm not of them. I am not of their kind, but I know they exist.
Right on.
Here's the big story of the day. Duke Nukem Forever has been delayed for the 1000th time. Originally
No
slated for
way.
May 3rd stateside. Duke Nukem Forever is now set for June 14th. Europeans will get it on June 10th.
All right, well, that's not too huge of a delay. But that's
Everyone
hysterical.
stop caring about Duke
I know.
Nukem.
Who gives a shit?
Are you kidding me? That game looks like trash. Here's a spoiler. Probably going to be a 6.5, I bet. I'm not reviewing it. I have not talked to... I have no idea who's reviewing it. I'm just telling you on the demos I've based, it'll be lucky to get a 6.5. That's Greg Miller's prediction.
Like I said a million times, they
Not
should
endorsed by IGN or anyone here.
Right.
they should have finished the 3D Realms version of the game, the old version of the game, released it as a $10 downloadable. That would have been much more interesting, and it would have the old like vaporware feel where we didn't know if we were going to ever get this game, but they finished it with those tools. That would have been a cooler way. Instead of remaking it again, like there's so many shooters. Duke Nukem is irrelevant. It's like we talk about Leisure Suit Larry. Leisure Suit Larry was really big in the 80s and early 90s. No one gives a shit about Leisure Suit Larry anymore. That's why the new game had no effort into it and no one cared about it.
Well, until you hear about Leisure Suit Larry Forever, bro.
Oh,
It just went into development.
Leisure Suit Larry 17,
Yeah.
back to relevance.
Such a great subtitle.
Back to relevance.
Okay, number 4, Wizardry, Labyrinth of Lost Souls, an old school styled RPG will be released on PSN this spring via publisher Exceed.
That's awesome. Wizardry is super old school.
I don't know anything about it. Tell me about it.
It's a really one of the oldest RPG series.
Is this the one that like Tom Hanks played in Big?
Yes, that is the one.
I've always wanted to play that game. When is that coming to PSN? What was it like? Melt the ice with love.
I don't know what you're talking
man,
about.
go watch
Oh,
Big.
you never seen Big?
I don't think
Maybe
so.
it did, maybe that. What really?
I
You
don't
know where
think so.
he wishes to be big?
Yeah, I know the movie. I just don't know if I've ever seen it.
That is crazy.
That's a great film, dude.
That is crazy talk. I mean, I know you don't see a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But
well,
still big.
here's the thing, though. This is what we always talk about because it's true. I miss a lot of movie references, which I totally understand. I need to catch up on movies.
Yeah.
That's all well and good. I have seen a lot of movies when I was young that I guess I just don't have a good long-term memory because I don't remember seeing them. But I have seen them because then when someone's like, hey, let's sit down and watch this movie you've never seen, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, I've actually seen this before.
You're just reciting line for line.
But also keep in mind that whereas my movie knowledge might be low, my anime knowledge is much higher than anyone in the office.
I can understand that.
Not
That's
like
true.
it necessarily matters, but it is something.
Okay.
Something all right.
It is
Number 5. Ubisoft's PS3 exclusive Splinter Cell trilogy has been delayed. Originally slated to come out this week, you can look for it on June 21st.
Yeah, way to let us know ahead of time.
Old game is old.
What, dude? Splinter Cell on PS3 is a pretty big deal.
Old game is old. It's not.
What
it's
is
not
what is
convection.
that going to be
It's
your
not
new? Is that going to be your
conviction.
new saying now? All you want to do is play new games.
That's what I've been saying for a long time.
You don't want to go back and play anything that's good. Once
That's
a game
my whole
is
thing with the backwards
So
compatibility.
you're never gonna play Infamous again, the original.
I don't know if I'll ever play through it to completion. Well, I guess
no
I'll-
old
I
game's
wanna-
old, bro.
I want to get the 100%.
Yeah, old game is old, Greg.
Well, okay, fine. It's
I mean,
not conviction. Why not give us conviction?
Well, I'm sure they're going to. This is
Oh
probably
yeah,
testing
on
the market.
PS4. PS4.
PS4 is
Can't
going to
wait.
get conviction.
Right now, listeners, Greg is like kind of scratching his shoulder a little bit.
I'm
but
up
his,
underneath the sleeve.
Yeah, but his sleeve is rolled up, and man, are his biceps huge.
Yeah, look at those 24-inch
my
pythons. I'm wearing my
goodness.
Colin shirt
His
too.
Greg's arms are
Colin,
giant.
I'm gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, under the false and laughable guise of becoming quote-unquote greener, EA will be eliminating paper manuals from all its games from this point on.
Yeah, I'm sure the board met at EA and we're like, you know what, guys, we need to become greener, so let's just get rid of all of our paper manuals. And in the process, we're going to save millions of dollars. That's just an afterthought, though.
So you're angry about this.
No, well, first of all, it's stupid to not include a manual in a retail version of a game that you're
But
buying in a store.
they're on the disc now.
Yeah, but that's stupid. That's
Soon
like
you're
that,
going to be able to sync your iPads and pods to it, and there you go.
It's
I mean,
not. I don't think
it's
it's
not-
stupid, dude. We get everything digitally now. Paper should not.
I
We
don't
shouldn't
think-
waste the resources.
I don't think most people even read them anymore.
well, because to be fair, most manuals are useless now anyway. It's not like back in the NES and SNES days,
Yeah,
and
where they were
PlayStation days
books.
when they were cool and fun
But
to
then,
read.
even then, they were dumb. I mean, like,
They were awesome, dude, especially with the NES because you got like all the drawings, like you were dealing with 8-bit graphics,
No,
and so like you.
that's true.
This
Okay,
was
I'll
kind
give
of
you
like what everyone looked
I-
But I
like.
meant when they like, this gun that looks like a machine gun is a machine gun.
I'll side with Colin on that part. Like back in
Agreed.
the day, there were very legitimate reasons to have a manual. But now, yeah, so what? EA, sure, they'll save a crap ton of money. That's all fine.
They're going to pass it on to you, Colin.
But they,
Yeah, right.
yeah, unlikely. But yeah, I think any steps we can take, any little steps to preserve this planet, which we have been pushing towards oblivion since the day that we started mucking around with science.
All right, well, I just want to put it. This is what I was talking about with Mark Ryan. Mark Ryan makes this argument a lot, which is a compelling argument.
I'm ready.
When you go to a hotel and they're like, we won't make your sheet, we won't make your bed and wash your
If you
sheets and
leave
wash
this
your towels.
card on,
Yeah, it's like we want to do this because we care about the environment. No, you don't. You want to do it because you care about your gas and your water bills. That's why you want to do it. At least pass the savings on to people. If you're gonna, EA's not gonna save a lot of money, but people have to understand that the money being saved isn't only on the material printing of the paper and the paper itself. It's like someone has to go through and make the. I know someone that does the instruction manuals.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, you have to pay that person, this and that. There should be a little bit of savings added on. I understand if you're getting like a disc, like if you're not getting a disc, like when you download Mass Effect 2
Yeah.
off the PSN, obviously you're not going to get a paper manual. But if you're going to a store, you should get a paper manual. It's coming in a case. And as Jim Riley always makes the argument, the most hazardous thing in any game case is the disc itself. Not anything else. The disc itself is the worst for the
Hazardous?
environment. Yeah, for the
Worse for
environment.
the environment. Right.
So I just don't like that argument. It's like these companies act like they're all green. Talk to them about cap and trade and see how green they're going to be. It's all about money. They want money, and I just don't.
Sure.
I don't like that. Like it's such a transparent guise. You know what I mean?
It's maybe that's a problem, and they should be more transparent about what their motivations are. But with that said, like I said, honestly, any step is a good step, man.
I don't disagree. I think like you said, I think the end result's fine, and that's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no paper or tree shortage in this world. Everyone was yelling about how the rainforest would be gone 30 years ago. Obviously that didn't happen, so I'm not
That's
really
'cause
too
we
concerned
acted,
about.
right? Or they acted.
I suppose. But so I'm not too concerned about the paper itself. I'd be more concerned about the plastic cases, which no one's talking about. So
I heard once that for every manual they don't sell now, EA is going to plant a penguin. I've been working on that one for a
Plant
while.
a penguin.
Plant a penguin.
Okay.
I love it, dude.
Number 7,
That was
Super
great.
Stardust HD, which is turning 4 years old this June, is being supported with new DLC. Called Impact Mode, this new DLC purportedly changes the functionality of your ship, allowing you to use new weapons, while reaching the previously unseen heights of 40 and 50 time multipliers. It's due out sometime this spring.
Kyle, were you ever able to look up that majig?
I looked it up.
About-
There wasn't even a wiki for the PSP version of the
Oh,
game or
man.
whatever. It just said it was like released on PSP
Well,
too.
I'm sure the Beyond Nation can help us out here, but I was almost positive that the PSP version of Stardust had this mode in it, and it was like you perpetually boosted, and it was like kind of a boost-driven mode. Or maybe I'm thinking of something that came from a.
No, I think you're right because I think the mode is like you keep boosting, and as long as you keep hitting things, you never stop.
Yeah, you never stop, and your multiplier keeps going up.
It's the multiplier thing is what's really interesting though because I wonder there must be separate scoreboards because I never got past 9 times multiplier, and I'm pretty good at Stardust. I'm not. Clements is very good at Stardust. I'm not nearly that good. But I can't, so getting to 45 or 50 times
I'm nothing now.
is insane. It's insane.
No, for sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're basically making a PSP mode available on the console version.
Yeah.
I think.
Fair enough.
You guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
They will.
They will.
Number 8. Due to MotorStorm Apocalypse plot surrounding a devastating earthquake, Sony has delayed the game. However, Evolution Studios' new racer should be hitting store shelves in England on March 31st. There's no word on a U.S. release date yet.
What's the new racer? Oh, as in Apocalypse.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant there was another game that they're doing, and I was like, wow, that was fast.
At the same time, we've been working on another game about an earthquake.
Yes,
and it's going to blow your mind.
Remember, it was coming out April 12th here, I believe, and then they delayed that, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with that now. Because I think it was just a solidarity kind of thing of, hey, we're going to delay this, blah, blah, blah. Corey writes in, because we actually talked about this last week. He wrote into beyond@ign.com about this, because last week we talked about how they were delaying it, and we talked about the earthquake and everything else. Corey writes in and says, I find it hypocritical that something like a natural disaster or a war or a terrorist attack can cause a game to be delayed or canceled. Here's why. If you're a game developer and your game depicts something like an earthquake destroying a city, and then an actual earthquake hits and destroys a city, thousands of people die, and you feel like you need to delay the game or cancel it, why were you making it in the first place? To me, time does not make something that happened any less horrific. I mean, if your game has a tsunami in it, but if it's a tsunami that wipes out a town, to me, that's not okay, whether Japan got hit by one or not. Anyways, Corey, I think the point that we maybe didn't get across last week, to you at least, was it's not that they're delaying it because they feel super bad about it or as a sign of respect, and I'm sure some of that is. The more pertinent issue to them is that nobody wants to play a game with a huge natural disaster in it while the disaster's happening. While there's all this footage of tsunami wiping people out, no one's like, oh man, I'm going to take my mind off this by playing a game where a tsunami's wiping people out.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. I actually kind of agree with them. I mean, like, I think it's a nice gesture, obviously. I think it would have been more eerie and maybe more responsible for them to delay the game if it was Tokyo itself or whatever, towns in northern Japan that got
Sendai,
destroyed.
I think.
Yeah, Sendai. So, but I agree with him because I think we lose out on being able to do things that are really, I like controversial things, like, because they're interesting. Like, it's not the cookie cutter stuff they're used to playing with. And what really disappointed me, obviously the game everyone thinks about when we talk about this kind of stuff is obviously 6 Days in Fallujah. Yeah, and I know that game didn't look like it was going to be, a great game or whatever, but it sucks that Konami got so much pressure on them being like, this just happened, and, like, people are really upset, and soldiers have post-traumatic stress disorder and stuff. Well, that's true, but, like, this still did happen, and it's a video game, and we want to play it,
See, here's the thing. I think we're getting apples and oranges in the same cart there. Fallujah, total cop-out. They should have stuck to their guns and published the game and let people decide what was up with it. MotorStorm isn't trying to be controversial. MotorStorm is trying to be a fun game where you drive around and all this crazy crap happens and you drive up the sides of buildings and yada, yada, yada. When they were putting together that game, they weren't putting it together to say, piggyback off how bad tsunamis are, whereas 6 Days in Fallujah is saying, this war is horrible, this is what it's like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for MotorStorm to say, wait, let's take a time back, it's because their game is totally just an escapist. I'm just driving crazy cars and big rigs and whatever through this, goofy landscape where this is happening. And then when it really happens, you're like, well, no one's, we're not trying to be realistic. We don't want that. And we don't want our game to be dead on arrival. We don't want it to be launched and everybody go,
I suppose. I mean, I think you're right. They probably are apples and oranges, but, at the same time, like, I don't know. I just.
It's fiction.
It is, yeah.
People should be allowed to create it as long as, like, no one was hurt in the process of creating something, or, technically speaking, you could even make something that's deliberately designed to be offensive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
like Manhunt.
There's a certain sense of people are allowed to create anything that they want, and if you do not like it, then you don't have to consume it or approach it at all. Just
amen.
And exactly, I totally back that 100% too. And I think in the case of MotorStorm, right, is that the people who would be going, I don't want to buy that, are people who might have originally said, I do want to buy that. You know what I mean? That's the difference here. Whereas, like, a Fallujah or a Manhunt are in your face. This is what's happening. You either go, I don't want to do that, or there's not like, zeitgeist is the spirit of the times, right? And that's totally what they're doing right now, is trying to figure out where in this picture they fit.
Yeah, I mean,
Does
I think
delaying it that much really change things? I mean, I guess you don't hear about the tsunami every day like we were 2 weeks ago, but.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate why they did it, and I think they did do it to not ruffle any feathers and
Yeah, to be
respect
respectful.
obviously the Japanese company that is makes the system that their games are on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just don't want us to get too cautious as a community and a society or whatever, where we have to really worry about those kinds of things. Because we even wrote a piece about Heavy Rain, the new Quantic Dream game that they're working on or whatever, and we both agree that we want it to be more over the top and much darker, and they said it's gonna be much darker. So we have to, what kind of really adult themes are they going to be dealing with in those kinds of games too? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to offend people. Everyone's going to be offended by something. In other words.
Yeah. By the way, I guess we never really talked about this, but I thought that Heavy Rain had some great mature themes.
Huh?
But I wasn't particularly disturbed or upset by it. I mean, I actually didn't even think it was that dark.
It was. I think
to me it was
I agree
just.
with you.
It was. I mean, it was dark comparatively. But I've seen mature works. I've even seen anime that's extremely psychologically disturbing, and all this crazy stuff, and dark films and all this. It's not, Heavy Rain wasn't really that bad to me.
Agreed. I think it's being put into those situations and acting, and you're totally moving towards Sean's story, right, of where he is in this whole thing. But like Colin boiled down really well when we were working on that feature, that you are after a serial child killer who's torturing people, and you know what I mean? Like, wow, you don't think about it because you run into the one mother who's a whore, right? And she's lost her son or whatever, and then she's never even that super shaken up about it again, right? Like, I mean, there's a couple conversations, but you don't have that connection with her like you do with Ethan and his children.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wrote about. Like Greg said, was like, it is interesting. Like, it is easy. They do such a nice job of letting you gloss over it, and I think that Quantic Dream did that intentionally because they don't want the game to be like so dark where you don't really want to progress or whatever. But like Greg said, I wrote about how the dude murders children. He kidnaps them and murders them.
Yeah.
And if that were to happen in real life, obviously that would be like a very nefarious thing, and the person would be obviously demonized for good reason. So
that's true.
Yeah. So,
I don't mean to say that the subject matter was
I
good.
understand,
or
but you
something.
didn't walk away being like, oh my god.
Yeah, I wasn't shaken when I walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on the ending, I think it something to do with it too. Speaking of which, Enzo Di Gregorio writes
Hello.
in like he often does.
Yes.
Longtime fan here. He writes into Beyond at IGN.com with quick fire questions. Colin, yours was, this past week you and Greg wrote a piece about what you want to see in Quantic Dream's next project. So my question to you is this. Do you want the Heavy Rain control scheme to carry over to the next project?
Yeah, I mean, generally, I think that would be fine. I just think they need to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it was fine. I think some people made a mountain out of a molehill with that game.
I think that's what they're talking about as far as the whole genesis of that article, right, was David Cage saying that we're not doing Heavy Rain 2, but we're going to keep going with interactive drama. So I bet it won't be the exact same thing, but it'll definitely be in line with that.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be on the same engine, and I'm sure it'll feel the same. But they do need to clean some stuff up in that game, no doubt.
Yeah.
And some of the minutia, I think some people wrote in the comments, like some of the minutia in that game is a little much. Getting immersive is one thing. Brushing your teeth in a game is another thing.
You figure you look at it right, and like for a lot of people that turned him off, Damon played an hour of that game, was like, it's boring, and I have other games I should be playing. You know what I mean? Because we all have these backlogs, right? So when something doesn't, and Geddes is the same way. I don't think about Heavy Rain, but if
Geddes actually had that conversation with me about Dissidia.
Right? If it doesn't grab him right away, he's got other things to do, which I totally understand.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he has a life. He has, things to do.
Yep.
That was all I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna rhyme. He has
okay.
a life and a wife and a knife. Number 9, a YouTube user named Shantzzy001 has successfully modded his Kinect to work with the PS3. His video demo shows him signing into the PSN and booting up Killzone 3 using Kinect, though there's little else he can do with it at the current time. Still, it's an interesting video, so check it out. Says Colin.
Yeah, he did it to do a proof of concept that the Kinect can actually work with PlayStation. I'm sure unintended, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not riveted by Kinect at all. I think it's lame, but
I think it's something that you need to have cool games for.
Yeah, games. I mean,
just
software.
Just like PlayStation Move.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, we talked about that last week. Move was fun originally because we had Sports Champions, which is a cool game, and now we've been waiting for Sorcery, which is basically the next game we care about.
Isn't it funny, by the way? Just speaking of Kinect real fast, that the last time that I was really interested in Kinect was Dance Central, launch game, and then I haven't cared in any way at all since then.
That's why it's so strange that they're selling so many units, because what the hell is everyone playing on it?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Very crazy.
Oh, that brings us to the end of the journey that is the Roper Report. Colin.
Yes.
If I had just had money falling out my ass, where could I go to find out where I could spend it on?
You go to the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors.
Boop, 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 boop. Money's falling out of your ass.
I wish.
Crazy.
too.
By
I'll
the
still
way,
lend you money though to eat with your family tonight.
Oh, thank you.
just a side note, real quick,
Yeah.
Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
We already have a 45-minute
The
show.
show's been dynamite. This has been
Yeah.
a good one.
It is good. It is good.
I like
Sometimes
long podcasts.
I like to just make a good package for people to go and just fill their earlobes with and just be like, oh. And they're just sitting there,
There
they're
was some
just
really-
ODing on information, and the steering wheel's spinning left and right because they're overloaded. They can't drive, and the car flips off, and
The van
runs
flips
in,
off.
Nuns.
runs into another van full of nuns. Explosion.
And then the Undertaker comes and kicks the back door open of the van. And
Rest in peace.
all right, so there's no PS2 games this week.
Oh God.
On PS3, Lego Star Wars 3 Clone Wars.
Which Anthony liked.
Crysis 2.
Which Arthur liked.
And PlayStation Move Heroes.
Which Jack did not like.
On PSP, we have Lego Star Wars 3 Clone Wars. And I can't really read my handwriting, but it's Naruto.
Oh, the new Naruto.
I'm going to say Razuna Drive, but I don't know if that's actually true or
Look
not.
for that review soon.
Yeah.
And that's all she wrote.
Cool.
Hey, Clement.
Yeah, buddy.
I love the digital downloads.
You do?
Yeah, where do I get them?
Wonderful. You go to that internet and you download things
What came out?
that are megabits. All right. So on the PlayStation Store this week, I have a few. Let's see. I want to see what the PlayStation Plus stuff was first.
PlayStation.
I guess I never. By the way, is full game trial? Is that just sort of an exclusive demo, or what
It's,
exactly is
uh,
Yeah,
that?
you download pretty much the whole game, right? And then, you download the whole game, and then you get to play for an hour and see if you like it.
Cool.
You get
start-
trophies and
yeah,
stuff
you
like
get
that.
You start from
Oh,
the beginning
okay.
and go.
Got it. Anyway, well, that's a full game plus. Full game trial on PlayStation Plus is available for PlayStation Move Heroes,
Great.
which came out this week. Which, yeah.
Get your move ready.
Anyway, downloadable game Swarm, which you didn't mention any downloadables yet, did you?
No.
I was looking through this list trying to see what I was going to say.
My Swarm review goes up today, though.
What are you going to give it?
An 8.
Oh, okay.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Battle Los Angeles. Ooh.
Christine did not like it. Do not avoid.
Already said PlayStation Move Heroes. That's
Yeah.
available. As well as a very tricksy title for Greg Miller. DC Universe Online.
A
is
tricksy
available.
title.
It's tricksy.
Yeah.
As well as Premier Manager.
Yeah, that game actually looks kind of cool.
I don't know what it is.
Soccer, right?
It's a soccer management game,
Oh.
which is pretty cool. I mean, people are really into management games. I love those kinds of games.
Is that what you do with your Madden? You go through and change the hot dog price and all that?
Yeah, well, you can. Yeah, you can. I mean, it more brings me back. So my friend in college, Doug, I went to Maine for his wedding this summer. Some
I
people
remember that.
Listeners, I remember. He was obsessed, and he still plays since we were in college. This online league with people he doesn't know of baseball, and it goes like every season takes 2 weeks, and it's just a management game, and it goes for like 150 years or something like that. Like you're managing your franchise. That kind of stuff's really riveting to some people. Like I really just like the numbers aspect of the sports. So
This is a good place to point out too before we forget. IGN's new game stock market just went live. If you go to IGN, you'll find a link on our site or whatever, or you can follow me on Twitter, GameOverGreggy, and I have links there. Basically, it's a stock market for video game popularity or whatever. So you start off with 10,000 points that you can then spend on shares of Mass Effect 3, and then track it as it gets more popular, less popular, and then you sell it and you buy more stuff and yada yada yada. There's leaderboards. It's just a little micro game for you to play in your browser, and I think it's awesome.
yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. I haven't started
Cool.
messing around with it yet.
If you like the numbers.
Yeah.
All right. Also, Ghostbusters Sanctum of Slime.
Let's talk about this
my
gem.
God.
Let's talk about some Ghostbusters Sanctum of Slime.
No.
Everybody knows
I'll come back after.
I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan.
Huge.
Big time.
You
Yeah,
love it.
I have a proton pack, a movie replica proton pack and costume.
And that tattoo.
I wish I had a tattoo. I'm saving my tattoo for the IGN tattoo.
Okay.
Anyways, I gave Colin a code. I got a code. We went home. We played for 3 hours Tuesday night. Oof. Well, I tell you,
Bad
Colin,
news.
Bad news bears
Bad
in
news.
that game, right? It was a game that snuck up on you how bad it was. Because we
Yeah.
started and we're like, oh, okay, cool, it's not that bad. And like we steamrolled that game. There's 12 chapters, and we steamrolled chapter 10 in 2 hours or so. And then just a wall of like, okay, now we're gonna fuck you. Now we're gonna make love to you against your will. Ghosts coming out. You're getting revived, and you get revived, stand up, you get smashed to death again. It's like Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that game sucks.
Yeah.
It's like a broke ass Dead Nation.
Yeah, you
basically.
got up to level 10. Great. Now we're gonna fuck you.
Thanks for putting your time in. No voice acting. You don't play as the real Ghostbusters. And then Colin, this is how Colin sums it up.
Yeah, Sir, I knew Dead Nation. I served with Dead Nation. You, sir, are no Dead Nation.
Yeah. Avoid. The most fun me and Colin had was making fun of it together.
Yeah, we were
Like,
just.
There's one part where it's like don't forget to switch your weapons. Well, first off, no voice acting, so that's just the voice we made up for this. Don't forget to switch your weapons. And you've had to switch your weapons for the last 4 rooms. Like, you wouldn't have progressed this far if you hadn't switched your weapons.
Yeah, it's like, all right, thanks, dude.
All right, cool. Good advice, I guess. Yeah.
It's a really it's a shite game. It really is.
Yeah, it's sad. Sad stuff.
All right. Hey, Colin, I don't know if you were excited about this, but did you ever enjoy or play Legend of Mana? Not Secret of Mana.
Yeah, Legend of Mana.
PS1 game?
No, I never played it. I remember
okay.
people were excited about it because it had mana in the title.
Yes.
In the PlayStation.
I actually remember enjoying it from what I played. I'm sure it's controversial because, I don't think anything could ever approach the sort of nostalgia and love we have for Secret of Mana. But it's available as a PS1 classic.
Yeah, I saw that
for the $6.
I may have rented.
I downloaded it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I rented all of these like games when I was young and the games I couldn't afford. I'm sure I played it at some point, but I definitely didn't beat it. And I don't remember it at all. So what I want is Thousand Arms. I don't know why I've been thinking about that game lately, but that game was fun.
That like semi-dating sim.
Yeah, it was like
RPG.
a dating sim RPG.
Oh yeah, man.
That game was really fun.
That game also had a totally badass opening. I don't know if you remember that, but it had like a full. I think it had like a full animated opening, like this awesome Japanese song.
I don't remember that.
It's like.
I have to go look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't it. I was just making a noise.
That was a rad game though. I really liked that game a lot.
Also, Castlevania Lords of Shadow Reverie.
DLC.
Yeah, the DLC is now available for $9.99. I'ma get it. All right, give me a second, guys, while I sort through all of themes and the PSPs and the. Here we go. Oh my God! How could I forget? How
idiot.
could I forget? Guess what came out this week?
This idiot. Dukakum.
Dukakum.
012.
Dissidia Duodecim Final Fantasy. That's available on the PlayStation Store. A lot of people were really wondering about that, and I was trying to inform as many people on Twitter and then the thread underneath the review as possible. It is a digital download.
The game came out last week though, right? The retail game?
No, it came out this week.
Oh, okay. I forgot to talk about it then. I thought it came out last week.
Yeah, it came out this week.
That's my
no
fault.
problem. Horde also came out on the PSP.
Hell yeah, it did.
No multiplayer.
Dragon in Horde.
Really?
Yeah, weird.
That's kind of
really weird.
It's only $10 though. Horde is so
Horde's a good
good.
game. Yeah.
It's really funny to me that in our little description here that we have for Horde,
Yeah.
the first half of the first sentence, which is "You are the dragon in Horde," is all in caps. This is the only thing that's all in caps in this entire.
You are the dragon in Horde.
You are the dragon in Horde. So also there's some PSP minis,
What do we got?
Doodle Pool,
Of course.
and Mini Squadron.
Awesome.
Doodle Pool is $4.99.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot right there.
Okay. Pick of the week.
Well, it is instantly
What did you give
Dissidia
Dissidia?
for me, a 9.
All right, cool. And then so Dissidia if you got a PSP, Crysis
you have
if you
two
got
very
a PS3.
you have very good choices there.
Swarm.
Swarm's good.
Swarm is
489.
I mean I'm no hate against Swarm, but
Swarm.
Dissidia is about a trillion times better.
Oh, okay.
No hate though.
No hate
No
though.
hate.
No hate.
We already did topic of the week, so let's just get to the reader mails here.
Let's
Do it.
Remember, if you want to be part of the show, beyond at IGN.com, just like Sam Owens did. He writes into you, Ryan Clements.
Hello, Sam.
Dear Beyond, I guess this is a question for Ryan Clements. What 3 characters do you wish were in Dissidia? Mine would be Oran from FFX, Red XIII from FFVII, and Balthair from FFXII. I really am enjoying Dissidia Dukakum so far. Keep up the awesome podcast.
I would like to. All right. The first note is that I hope Greg knows that that's not how you say anything.
What do you mean?
FFXXX. All that business.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Red
is.
X
Red
I.
XIII. No. And also, we know that it's not Dukakum. I just like to throw that out there again.
Yeah, I think he spelled it duodecum. We know the real words.
Remember, some people actually were like, "Hey, you guys know you're saying it wrong." Also, so to answer the question,
Yeah.
I would love to think about it for a bit and can you circle
come
back
back
to me.
circle back.
All right,
Same
I'm gonna start writing them
We're
down.
gonna put a pin.
Edge.
All right, Colin. Since you're so eager to talk,
Yeah.
Kevin McDonald says, just a quick question. Since Homefront had such a short but great single-player experience,
Yeah.
are you of the opinion that the upcoming DLC should be free or heavily reduced in price?
We don't really know what it's going to cost, so.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not of that
What's
opinion.
your sweet spot? Do we know anything about the DLC?
I showed you what was on Wikipedia.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But that wasn't even cited, and I had never heard anything about that, and I think I would know. So
Okay.
I don't think they've talked about the DLC yet. But I could be wrong.
All right.
Okay.
But I think it should be
$5?
$5 a piece maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean not free.
And they're like a mission?
Well,
A chapter?
for $5.
That's what I'm asking. This is the question.
How about $10 for like 3 chapters? But if they
I'll do that.
but if they do that, that almost doubles the game's length. You know. So
It's funny. DLC's
I
fun.
actually have my
Hit
choices.
it with me,
Is
Clements.
that cool?
Let Sam Owens go off
Edge.
into the night.
I just love since you're so eager to talk. All right, I am going to select. Now, these are there are so many fantastic characters in Final Fantasy, I could pick them all. But here are the 3 that popped into my head right away. In the interest of adding more female characters to that roster, because, well, actually, there's more now with Duke Nukem. But I would love to see Fran from Final Fantasy 12.
Okay.
Because she is awesome. And I also would love to see Quistis from Final Fantasy 8, because she is equally awesome. And then, here's the one for Colin. Edgar from 6 would be perfect for that game. Use all his different tools in combat. Would be a blast. Be a blast.
So all right. So I don't know the roster. I just want to run down some of my favorites. I just want to see who's in the
made
game.
it. Who made it? Let's do
Porum
it.
and Palom.
No.
That's a travesty. Tella.
No.
Edge isn't in it.
No.
Shadow.
No.
Go-Go.
No.
Gao.
No. There's only like
The dude with the baby chocobo that lives in his hair.
no. Friggin' Saz is not in the game.
How about
Thank
Cyan?
God. No.
Sabin.
Nope. There's only 2 people from 6 in that game.
How is that possible? That's the game with the biggest cast, too.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Well,
What a travesty.
I'm really so. Or wait, was it only 6?
So who is it? Golbez and Cecil?
No, those are from 4.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm sorry. So 6 would be Locke and Terra?
No, it's actually Terra and Kefka.
Kefka, right. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. And I did see Kefka, and he does look very cool.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, Greg. I know that was painful for you to hear.
It was not painful.
Okay.
I'm
As long as
happy
you're
that
okay.
Are you
there's
going to play
good
Final Fantasy?
discussion.
I'm reviewing Final Fantasy 4 on PSP. Are you going to play Final Fantasy 4 on PSP?
If you tell me to.
It's a very good game. Have you ever played Final Fantasy 4?
No.
I think you should.
Okay.
I honestly think you should do it. It's a very long investment, but I think you should see it through.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just burning holes in my PSP every night now, so it'll be hard to fit it into my PSP regimen, but I'll do what I can.
I'm telling you, I think it's one of those games you got to play.
That was sarcasm. I'll play it.
Oh, I thought maybe you were playing like Metal Gear or something. So.
No.
Are you? So I kind of forgot the extent of your Final Fantasy knowledge. Have you ever actually tried to sit down?
Yes.
Okay.
Many times.
With which ones? 7?
Yeah, 7. The PS1 classic that's since come out. I played it originally on I played it on my PS2 at one point.
All right.
And then I've done it again on the digital download front.
And it was just the world that you didn't like,
Yeah.
or you just don't like that sort of menu-driven combat?
The menu I didn't hate that much or anything. It was
Okay.
just like, yeah, it just didn't stick with me. I
Interesting.
didn't connect with the characters and the world. The train. I was on the train a lot. You know how that goes.
I do know how that goes.
Okay.
I know the opening to that game so well. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I tried 13 for a little bit too.
Oh well, that's
I'm just saying that I keep up on the current stuff as
yes.
best I can.
I totally you're good at it.
Speaking of current stuff, Seth writes into Beyond at IGN.com, and he says, have any of you guys downloaded the SOCOM 4 beta and given it a go? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the competitive multiplayer since you enjoyed the co-op demo so much. Guys?
No.
I did play competitive during GDC though. I'm pretty sure the Bomb Squad mode
Yeah.
was it was competitive.
What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I guess I don't have enough experience with SOCOM to give all those like super hardcore SOCOM people what they really need to know.
Yeah.
But saying that, I still had a good time with it. It was kind of a cool any multiplayer online that has a gameplay element or a mechanic in it in which encourages people to work together. So for example, in Bomb Squad, you have the one player who like has to defuse the bomb, and everybody else has to either protect him, and the other team has to take him down.
Yeah.
That's built into the game. And so it's basically encouraging you like, hey, you're not going to win unless you guys all work together. And so it does, and that's fun. I think that's great.
It's nice.
Seth, I downloaded it last night and played a round of it. I was very tired, and it took forever to download. I was like, I'm going to come home. I'm going to jump in here, blah, blah, blah. Because I downloaded it at work, actually, because I had my retail PS3 in yesterday. And then I got home, and it was like, oh, you need to download this giant update, too. I was like, fuck. So I did that, and by the time it was done, I'm like, all right, I'll play a couple rounds. And I jumped in, and I did 2 matches, and I saw it said, you've completed 2 of 11 rounds. Fuck this, I'm going to bed. But I had fun, and I was actually pretty good at it, so I'm looking forward to that still.
Cool.
I'm still up on the SOCOMs. I'm still happy
There you
to
go.
see what happens with the SOCOMs.
Hey, how many questions do we have, by the way?
How many more do you want to do? We're at
an hour.
We
We're
should
at
be
an
wrapping
hour.
up. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just curious if I should run to the restroom right next door or just wait.
I think we should just answer every question.
No, I have work to do. So do you. You know that. You have things to do.
I have a review and a preview that I haven't
let's
started
do 3.
yet.
All right. There's one I want to do. That'll be the final one.
I got 2 reviews going up today.
This is a quick one.
You don't actually have to rush. I can just like
We're
come
not
back.
rushing. Nobody's
in a
rushing.
second.
Everybody's happy.
Pee in the bottle, dude.
I'm not gonna do that. That's gross. That's also where I'm drinking my water from.
Pee in your water bottle.
Enzo de Gregorio had the question for Colin about heavy rain control scheme. He asked for me, will there be a feature on IGN similar to Little Big Planet Level Lovers Anonymous for Infamous 2, or is it too early to say? I'd like to see that happen. Enzo, we'll see how
That was
supports it.
that was a lot of work for you though, dude.
Yeah, but if it's we could do it in a manageable way. It's just it's a question of sharing and how cool they are.
We can do it with the beta.
Ryan,
Yes.
if you could take one PSP game and put it on the PS3, or vice versa, which one would you pick and why?
I'm sorry, Greg. Could you say that again? I didn't quite
If you could
follow.
take one PSP game and put it on the PS3,
Oh.
or vice versa,
Okay,
which
got
one would
it,
you pick
got
and
it.
why?
I guess my automatic answer is to say that it would be cool to see a PS3 version of Dissidia. If only because then you could do like a little bit more like online play, like make it easier, because you can't do that game locally. In the
I'm looking at Ryan give this thing, and then this tape measure starts crawling out that Colin is extending for as long as he can before it breaks.
that was unbelievable. That was awesome.
That was good. That was good stuff.
Like Colin was just slowly extending a tape measure, and it was reaching across the room without snapping.
That's it.
Sorry to interrupt
Dissidia.
Anyway, but I would also like to say that I discourage all those people on the boards, and I've seen many of them that are like, why is this game not on the PS3? This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's a great game on the PSP. It works so well on the PSP.
Yeah.
So enjoy it on the PSP.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if
People
they
ask that all the
also
time.
did a PS3 version, that would be cool.
People ask that all the time of like, oh, why isn't Peace Walker coming here, or why isn't Patapon on PS3?
It's
like, why would you own a PSP then? They want you to own PSPs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They also, if you complain that the PSP has no good games, and then it gets some incredible games,
Yeah, right.
and then you're like, actually, that should be on PS3. You're like, oh my god, give me a break.
2 questions to wrap them up here, and I'm sorry, they're both kind of directed at me.
No problem.
Theo writes in. Oh, well, first off, Theo writes in and says both Sonic and Mega Man are dumb. To anyone is good. Thanks for the tip, Ryan.
Oh no.
His real question, though, is I'm starting to get into comics. Next week, I'm getting Batman
Colin
vs.
is
Two-Face,
fuming.
Batman, Hush. You can answer that in a second, Colin. Batman, Hush 1 and 2, and blah, 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 blah. What Superman or Superboy comic should I get? For Superman, you should get Last Son. It's by Jeff Johns and Richard Donner, the guy who was behind the Superman movie back in the day. And then for Superboy, you should get The Boy of Steel. It's a hardcover right now. It's got beautiful artwork, and it's also written by Jeff Johns. I like him quite a bit. Colin, take Theo to task on the Mega Mans.
I don't really have anything to say. I mean, if you don't like Mega Man, you don't.
He just looped Sonic and Mega Man together.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
hate Sonic.
Obviously, you can't put Sonic and Mega Man together.
He just did.
Classic, but you can't, because classic Mega Man is classic and great, and Sonic sucks. Also, if you play Mega Man, and you don't appreciate at least the tightness of the controls, the aesthetics, and how important those games were to the future games that came after it. Then I can't help that. You got to really look in the mirror and think about why you're playing video games.
Oh my god.
Really look in the mirror. God, I love that. That's
Final
amazing.
question of the week. Oh, and I missed something. Damn it.
That's okay, buddy.
Well, whatever. We'll stick to. You don't have a hit of the week, right?
No.
All right, cool. I have free stuff in hit of the week that I won't forget here. Final question though, Greg. What will be happening now that Steimer has become an Xbox? Christine Steimer, of course, promoted to being in charge of the Xbox channels now. She's a member of Podcast Unlocked.
Yes.
She has.
No, she's one of the hosts, one of the 3 hosts.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have 3 hosts?
We're all members of. We're all hosts, aren't we? What do you call
I
this
don't
show?
think I'm a host. I just kind of sit here and
What
talk.
do you do? What do you call yourselves?
A member. I call myself.
I think everybody's a member of a podcast.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying in terms of Unlocked, we're actually going to try like maybe a rotating host scheme or something. We haven't figured it out yet.
Okay. I consider you all hosts of Podcast Beyond.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
So, anyways, Greg, now that what will be happening now that Steimer has become an Xbot? How could you let this happen, Greg? A house divided against itself cannot stand. Choose your loyalty now, Greg. Is it the PS3 or Steimer? Beyond. DJ, I broke up with Christine Steimer. I will not date someone who runs the Xbox channel at IGN. High five, Colin. Beyond. All right, so free stuff. The SOCOM beta is going on right now. If you'd like to be in on the SOCOM beta, our good friend Snake Eyes from the PSN writes in with 2 SOCOM beta codes. 5DF7 C9NA DTB5. Next one. FR9B T2 N4 KC96. To celebrate the power of Beyond, I want you all to write into beyond@ign.com and just say in the subject line, SOCOM Beta, and I will send out the SOCOM Beta codes I have, which are many and plentiful right now. So send them in as soon as you can, and I will randomly send them out. Don't bitch when you don't get them. I don't care.
I think it might be important to note that you did not actually break up with Christine because she became an unlocked member.
How do you know why I broke up? Oh, not the podcast. I said in charge of Xbox channel. Colin says talk about foreign packages for Killzone 3.
Yeah, I forgot to. Some people have been tweeting us about it, so I feel like we could just answer everyone's questions.
So Colin and I stayed. So, anyways, yes, we're really broken up, and yes, it's really because she runs the Xbox channel. I'll be damned if I'm gonna have that in my house. Get back to Colin here.
Right on.
We stayed late and we watched the great movie known as
Pirates of Silicon Valley.
You're gonna talk that way about Steve, the man who feeds your family. The man who feeds you, man. All right. Anyways, and we sent out a whole bunch of packages, but then we had some other ones that foreigners, you fuzzy little foreigners, all wanted your packages too. We sent out one or two of them, or not even none of them, right?
No, none of them. That shit's too complicated.
Foreign packages are tough, guys. We're stupid, so we just assume everyone's in America when they listen to us. Foreign stuff is very hard to send. There's many custom forms to fill out. There's a whole bunch of things to go through. So right now, the 4 Killzone packages that are foreign are underneath my desk, trying to figure out a way to get them out. One guy was going to try to have us send it. He was going to get an American address somehow. I don't know how that works. And then that didn't pan out. Now he needs to go to Canada. It's like, so that's what do you have to say about it, Colin? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know what to do either. I mean, these people won. We have to give them something, and it would preferably it will be the Killzone.
I mean, we'll fill out the package. I guess.
It's just you have to understand. We have to fill out all these, like Greg said, all these customs forms,
we're
whatever.
Dumb. We are bad. We're bad adults.
It's hard. Plus, I don't know. We just need to be more clear. Like I said last week, like all future contests, unfortunately, are going to have to be within the continental United States. Period. Unless it's for codes.
Yeah, codes are. Well, no, codes don't even.
Yeah, because, well, we can give codes to people in Canada, or people in.
Okay, so when we read a code, it's for North American because it's coming from SCE.
So I'm sorry. I mean, that sucks. I'm sorry. I know we have a lot of European fans, especially, and we love you guys.
Well, you were the one filling out the package forms. Let's try to fill out a package form. I'll try to fill out a package form for the Killzone 3.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
So I don't even understand. I mean, I'm stupid with this stuff because I'm even looking at these addresses we're getting, and I'm like, I don't even know what the hell any of this means.
Yeah, it's true.
In the United States, it's like.
Turns out it was just in Spanish.
In the United States, street name, house number, street name, city, state, zip code. That's it. I have all these things where it's like this and like this. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? I don't know what this means.
We don't know where to put it on. Like I said, we're overgrown children, and we don't know how to do the basics of being an adult. So I'm sorry.
Right.
We're working on it.
To be totally fair, it's uncommon for someone in the United States to send a package or a parcel to a different country, unless they have family or something.
Years ago, probably now, on GameScoop, when we sent out the Made from Lava things, I just sent it U.S. Postal Service to somebody in England. I was like, I don't care. I hope this gets there. And I don't know if it ever got there. I never got it back, so I don't know.
U.S. Postal Service, go!
It's at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean right now.
But we do try to help everybody. We'll figure something out. We're sorry. We love you. However...
No, we love our international listeners.
We also love our American listeners because it's very easy to send them stuff. If everybody remembers the name Josh Willie wrote in needing 1 trophy to get a platinum in Burnout Paradise. He needed a PlayStation Eye. I sent him my personal one. He writes in, Beyond, just racked up my first ever platinum in Burnout Paradise yesterday, thanks to Greg lending me his PlayStation Eye. I'm working my way towards my second one in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and I need some fellow Need for Speed players to help me get a specific bronze trophy. Can you make me hit of the week to help out? Of course, Josh Willie. However, I printed off this email. It does not appear you left your PSN name on there.
We'll get it. We'll
put it in the article.
No, yeah, just like you're gonna put up all the.
Dude, all right. So that I wanted to make that blog. I wanted to. I had the best of
I'm
intentions.
still getting tweets about that. Where are all the winners of the Ryan contest?
We're crazy busy.
I know. That's why I don't say shit. That's why I don't make promises anymore. Maybe I won't even post this episode. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
I'm sorry about that. I want to do. Maybe we'll do it eventually. I don't have any time to do it.
The lost episode.
Because I have to go through all the mail and find the winners. We're very unorganized sometimes.
All right, Josh Willie signed it Josh Willie, so hopefully it's just Josh Willie, Josh. That's fine. I did it all.
No, that's
Space
not it.
Willie, Willi.
That's not it.
We'll
get
know what?
Josh _ Willie.
Josh just needs to write in, and we'll
rectify the
PSN
situation.
next
I can picture
week.
his Twitter profile pic. So I know what he looks like, but that doesn't help anything.
Yeah, it doesn't help at all, Greg.
So there you go. That's another podcast in the books. Let's run down what we need to do.
Guys, I know what he looks like. It'll solve everything.
You can write to Jeff Rubenstein and his wife, and they'll get you to him. Vaguely describe him, and they'll give you the PS.
They're just using the machines in their house right now to crank out some $5 minis.
Oh my God. Remember, this is Podcast Beyond. This was episode 180. If you'd like to be a part of the show, write to us at beyond@ign.com. If you want to talk to us, follow us on Twitter. I'm GameOverGreggy. Colin is No Taxation. Ryan is Puam Cider. IGN is IGN. Also, come to IGN and join my IGN, which is this little social networking community thing there where a lot of prizes get giveaways. We all hang out and talk to each other. We blog. There's the new stock game, which I think is awesome. Two quick things about meet and greets. You want to meet IGN? Why don't you come hang out a little bit?
Yeah.
I will be, and I'm sure Colin for sure.
I'll be there.
Probably Eddie Rickenbacher's a week from Saturday, April 1st. No, it's 2nd, I think.
Oh.
Anyways,
If I'm in town, I will be there.
hold on, we're all opening up our calendars.
Who's gonna get there
April
first?
2nd,
Okay.
Eddie Rickenbacher's at the corner of 2nd and Minna in San Francisco. We will be there. It will be a WonderCon meet and greet. Nothing will be free, so bring money and don't walk out on the tab.
You can go there April 1st and just save a seat for us.
Sure, if you want to camp out at Eddie Rickenbacher's, there you go, have fun. And then for me personally, if you'd like to meet Greg Miller, you can find me at Meltdown Comics on April 16th in Los Angeles for the live performance of We're Alive, where I'll be hosting a Q&A with the actors and folks and giving away a whole bunch of stuff afterwards. You can find all that information at zombiepodcast.com or just follow me on Twitter because I'll keep tweeting about it. Ryan,
Yes.
take me home.
Absolutely, sir. I have an email here from, I want to say, Ikublai.
I want to say that too.
Yeah. Ikublai writes, "Hey guys, I thought the listeners might enjoy a change of pace in terms of song genre for the end of this podcast, so I'm submitting some classical orchestral-driven music. The mood of the piece, titled Every Day I Breathe in Void, is more soothing than perhaps some Beyond listeners are used to outside of the fireside chats, but who knows when that will happen again. Oh, it'll happen again someday. So please enjoy. I don't have a band, but you can download the song off of my Newgrounds page. Just go to ikublai.newgrounds.com. By the way, Ikublai is EKUBLAI. ikublai.newgrounds.com.
Ikublai, get out here and help build this igloo. I'm making the music, Mom.
Well, considering Ikublai has his real name here, and it's very, very American, I would say he is not an Eskimo.
The seals are attacking.
He's an Inuit.
He's not living in fucking Antarctica or wherever.
But his character probably.
Not
His
Antarctica.
spirit is living there.
The Arctic something.
The Arctic Circle.
Arctic Circle.
Yes.
Anyway, I actually, so, by the way, if you want to send a song or you want to have your band play something at the end of the show, just send me an email.
And maybe have Greg ridicule you.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever. We
Maybe
do
it
this all
was
the
in
time.
love.
You listen to this show, you're
It
my
was out
friend.
of
You
love.
know I give people shit. That's what
Yeah.
I'm doing, Ikublai, right? Calm down. I'm sure you live in the tropics or whatever. And you have a coconut bike you ride around town. You go, hey, coconuts! And they're like, I hate coconuts. We live in the tropics. I don't need you selling me coconuts, Ikublai.
Coconuts and papayas.
Ikublai, these sharks are evolving. They're crawling out of the sea. Hey, Ikublai, we've come for you.
Let's end it on that.
All right, beyond.